Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Everquest Old School. Now on this one, we're in the Nectualus Forest, which connects to Lava Storm, back this way to my right, and to the left connects to the Common Lands. Now, if you've never been here before, this will be a little treat for you. We're going to go down into the Dark Elf City, and I'll show you the whole zone from start to finish in great detail. If you're not ready for, say, exploring right now, you want to see some fighting, this won't be the video for you. But if you want to see this city, say you missed it, you played a good class, you never came here, this is the video for you. You'll definitely enjoy it. The Dark Elf City has a beautiful aspect to it, as you can see right here. It's quite nice. These little neon lights everywhere. In fact, I'll zoom in so you can see a better view of everything. And you'll see this is the Neriak's Foreign Quarter. It's the very first zone in this city. And you'll see there's two guards right here, and you had to get past a couple guards before you got in anyways. So you always want to make sure that you consider them to see if they are going to be ready to attack. Now, most people will be ready to attack here simply because this is a evil city, obviously. And even within the evil cities, or evil races, I should say, not all of them like each other. Trolls and ogres, you would think, get along with each other, but at one point they hated each other, and you couldn't even go near each other's cities there for a while. So you can see it's quite nice. They did spend a little bit of time making the zone look rather cool. This is obviously another player who's either looking around or doing a quest of some sort. See, they've got these little floating skulls. And I'll talk to each one of the NPCs that can sell and show you what they have for sale. I'm not going to go through and hail every single one of them, show you if there's a quest there or not. I'll do that in later videos where I show you the different quests and the different zones. This game, however, was not made, even though its namesake is called Everquest. I remember doing maybe a handful of quests in this entire game when I was playing, so not really the goal of this. It's mostly grinding, hanging out with friends, grouping, things of that sort. You can see in this game the designers were definitely male, and they went all out creating the bondage characters I guess they always dreamed of. It's quite... outfits that they have is just, you can tell what kind of what kind of people designed it. And I'll show you down there that leads to the next quarter, and then of course you got these little cool little designs and stuff, and you got a little waterfall, a soak underground, and I'll go through each and every one of those, but I wanted to give you a little overhead view of what the zone looks like. And you can see there's quite a bit to it, and this is only one part of a very large zone. It's easy to get lost in here. For those of you who have never been to this zone, it starts you not in this quarter, but it starts you in the next one over. So even before you know how to play the game, even before you've ever fought a monster or talked to any NPCs, you're already far enough away from the zone that you may not know how to get back out to do anything. So it's not uncommon for people to wander around for the first few hours of their game time, trying to find either a way out or the NPC that it asks you to find, which is, in my case, the Necromancer Guild. And I did a little tutorial and showed you guys that if you watched that earlier video. Now you can see these guys, quite ugly looking, even though they're female. And I'll show you what they have for sale. Move my inventory out of the way. So they sell a lot of molds. Some rusty stuff. The molds are for armor smiths. They can make a lot of stuff with that, as you can see. A large chainmail pattern. Bracelet. Now I remember when those first came out, and you had to, for like the studded armor, which was actually really good compared to some of the stuff you could get in the game. You actually had to make every one of the studs, which doesn't sound like that bad of a thing. And like an extra step, you're like, oh, okay, so I'll make another five or six studs. No, you had to make like 60 studs for a shirt. And then, if that wasn't bad enough, each one of the bars that it took to make a stud weighed like 40 pounds. You could only carry like 2 or 3 of them on you at any one given time. And of course, you're going to be walking slow doing that. You could barely move. And so basically, you could only make one stud at a time. Go back, find the NPC who sold the bars, and buy a couple more, and then run back, or not run back, but walk back very, very slowly to the place where you make it. Make another one, and keep doing that, rinse and repeat 60 times. And then once you've done all that, you still had to actually make the leather tunic, which then you could add the studs and the leather tunic all together and try to combine, which you could always fail upon doing so. And you can see exactly how frustrating and how much work it would take to even level up doing something along those lines. Again, this was not an easy game. It was made for, people who were D&D. They wanted the long haul. They wanted something difficult, mainly because that's the kind of games that they always played anyways. D&D was very in-depth. It was very detail-oriented. You knew that if you rolled the dice and you got a 6 and, all these other dices, that this happened and this happened. Plus, you're taking an avoidance of the other character, and there was a lot to it. And they tried to incorporate all of that into this game. And they for the most part, succeeded very well. So you got some mead here if you guys want to try drinking some alcohol, some short beer. Torches are nice. They light up the area around you in the dark. However, dark elves seem to have an innate ability to see in the dark a little bit better than most classes, which comes in handy, especially if you're going to be a tank pooler. In my case, for Shadow Knight, this is Necromancer. However, so not really going to be doing a lot of pooling with this guy. I got to keep reminding myself that I'm playing a Necromancer, not a Shadow Knight. My very first character in the game was a Shadow Knight, Dark Elf, and he was the only Dark Elf I ever played, so it's very hard to break the habit to think that I'm playing a different character now. Let's see what they have for sale. Now, chances are, if you're just starting out, you're going to be looking for a backpack. That's really what you need to have. You need something to carry all the items that you get off of creatures so that you don't have to come back every 4 seconds to sell. As you can see, there's quite a bit there. There's a fishing pole here if you want to do some fishing. You'll need one of those. Let's see what else. No, nothing really there that I want. Stuck on the wall. You can see those are the dead bodies of dwarfs who I guess happen to roam in here, and now they're going to be eaten, which is very, very, very disturbing. The pig stickers up there, so we'll go ahead and head up here to see what they have. As I said before, the graphics, you've probably seen better today, but in the day, this was the best you could see. This was awesome. This was incredible. So 5 gold, which I don't have enough for. That sucks. But at least I know who sells it now. Go ahead and keep looking around. A little bed back here. A lot of detail they added to the game that didn't really need to be there. I mean, these pictures on the wall don't really add anything to the game, but it does add something to the illusion. go through this and see what they got. Nope, nothing for sale there. And you can see they even just did a picture of coats being hung on the wall. It's not actually coats. You can see it's not two-dimensional, it's not three-dimensional, it's just a one-dimensional picture. Well, pretty much everything is a one-dimensional picture in this game, but it did add, you know, that kind of atmosphere that you really need for a game like this. It's all about people's imagination and what they're willing to accept and not accept, you know. This is cool looking. I don't think I ever came over here. This is a guard. Not quite sure what he's guarding. Here you go. Necromancer level 12, Necromancer level 8. Level 8. Now you notice that these spells don't actually tell you what they do. That's another thing you ran into in this game. You had to figure it out for yourself. Fatigue Death is a cool spell that allows you to fake like you're actually dead when you're really not. Engulfing Darkness slows the enemy down, and Restless Bones, I think, is a pet spell. Spook the Dead is Fear Undead. Wave of Enfeeblement does 12. So all this stuff is a little high for me. Level 8 seems to be the closest level. Bone Walk, level 8. Sounds like a pet spell as well. Let's see, Leering Corpse, level 4. Locate Corpse, level 1. This is a very handy spell to have for other people. If people lose their corpse, you can find it. And Siphon Strength, level 1. I'm not going to get those. At least now we know where the Necro spells are, guys. And I'll show you, like I said before, every merchant, so that if you're looking for a specific class of spells, you can at least find it this way without having to run through the whole zone yourself. Bone ships in here. Again, if you're a Necro, you're going to need bone ships to summon your skeletons. These greater light stones actually give off an enormous amount of light, considering, you know, how dark it can get. So something to consider if you're having a hard time seeing your way through. You can come in here and buy one of those, or you can kill a will-o-wisp, and you'll get a light stone off of those. Not always greater, sometimes you just get a regular one. Giant snake fang. Now, if somebody comes in here and they sell a tunic to that NPC, he'll actually have it on him for the perceivable future for a certain amount of time before it disappears. I think I already came up here, yeah. But yeah, he'll have it on him. So if you go to a zone where a lot of people are doing trade crafting, that's a good way to buy stuff from an NPC that you would not normally ever really get to see otherwise. You will have to pay money for it, obviously, and the NPC may mark the price up so much that it's not even worth it. You'd be able to buy it from the player for far cheaper. But sometimes you can get a pretty good deal. It's something you want to check when you go into a zone that seems very busy. You know, if high-level players are selling off gear, that to them sucks, but to you may be really, really cool. You know, it's a good way to kind of snag a little bit of loot for yourself at a pretty decent price. Let's see, block of clay. And these are the little ore that I was talking about it earlier. 18 pounds is the weight. So I wasn't kidding on that little thing. And you need like, I forgot how many it was, but it was like 4 or 5, maybe even 6 of these to make one stud. You know, it's been a while, so it may be less or more, I don't remember. But I know later on in the game they changed it, so it wasn't quite as hard to do that kind of thing. Which really kind of sucks, because the people who spent that time to get their skill up really deserve to be like the only ones in the game with it. Simply because they put the time in. I mean, nobody else was willing to sit there and go back and forth to do that. So, you know, they should have had the market cornered on that for as long as they could have before other people decided that, hey, you know, there's a lot of money to be had, I'll go ahead and put the time in. But now it seems like trade crafting in most games is rather quick. You know, you can do it in your off time when you're not grouping, when you're waiting for a raid. You can sit there and do that, and you can pretty much level up with your level as your trade craft as well. And this guy seems to be the alcoholic bartender. Not quite sure why there's a human in here. There's a couple mage spells, a shaman spell. It's a weird place for it. I've already come in here, that's right. I've done that already too. Go ahead and head back down. See, there's other people on the game playing as well, even though it's kind of late. This guy doesn't sell anything. Almost looks like a gypsy. You have a large bag, and as you see, weight reduction is 0, capacity large. What that means is some of these items have different sizes to them. Say we click on my robe, and we'll have to do the alt click, and you'll see size is medium. That not only says the size so that I know if I can wear it or not, because if it's a large, it's going to be too big for me, chances are, but it also tells you the size so that if you have a bag that only holds small or medium ones, if you try having a large weapon or large tunic, it won't fit inside. So you want to make sure you keep that in mind when buying these, that you buy the one that you're really going to need. You also have a large box, which large size, and the weight as well, capacity is 8. And then you have a purse, which capacity is very small, and the weight is small as well. Capacity is only 4. Another small bag and a small box, medium. There are bags out there like the Evil Eye that will reduce the I just wait for the backpack. That will reduce the weight of the items that are stored inside of it. Those are very sought after. Usually you have to go out and get them yourself. There'd be like no drop or no trade. But some of them you can buy. Not too many, obviously. This is the person for making potions, I believe. And of course their shop looks like potions as well, so gives you a little hint of that's what they're there for. Nice little marble look to it. Again, a nice little overview of the town, showing you another one side of it, the Smuggler's Inn. You can see the fire. You probably laugh at it and be like, oh, graphics on that is funny, but that right there was cool back in the day. That was amazing that they had these fire things on here and the game wasn't lagging out to where you could barely play it. I mean, they really put some effort in to make the game not only beautiful, but that you could actually play and not feel overwhelmed or laggy because of all the stuff they put into it. Another human in here for some reason. come in here and see what else is here. This is one of the smaller zones, so I may actually break this up into pieces for this zone. She's actually a traveling merchant, and she got out of my view. Just wines and ales. So I may break this up into 3 different pieces, because this one's already gone on for a pretty long time, and I haven't even gone to the other zones yet, so... Let's see... Pretty much the same in all of these. Alcohol, alcohol, more alcohol. Now, remember, if you jump off, you can kill yourself. You will get hurt, and in this game, chances are you will die, especially at this stage, or this level that I am at right now, which is, I believe, level 1. And so this one is 10 doses, Blood of the Wolf. It says charges is actually only 1. So that means you have 1 charge of Spirit of the Wolf, which increases your run speed. So anybody who sells or buys potions, Cyclops Eye. Or anybody who sells potions because they make them will make potions like that you can buy. And they do different things. You can have it where they give you invisibility or Spirit of the Wolf. It kind of helps you out because a lot of classes don't get some of these necessary abilities. Like Spirit of the Wolf is pretty necessary when you die and you want to go back to your body and it's really far away. It will take you a couple hours to get back. With Spirit of the Wolf, you may be able to shave off, 30, 40, 50 minutes, depending on exactly where it's at. And so 30, 40 minutes is a long time if you're going to be dying quite a bit and somewhere dangerous. And you may have to do that run several times. Now, chances are, if you know it's going to be dangerous, you'll find some place close by. But, people forget. People have lapse in judgments. Things happen that you weren't expecting. And you'll die in some place where you may be thinking that, how would I even die in a place like that? You never planned on it, you didn't know it was going to happen, and now you have a huge run back. So it's nice to keep stuff like that in the bank for situations that are unforeseen. Especially if you're on at the wrong time of the day and nobody else is on to give you a teleport or to buy a teleport from, which happens. And there you go right there. That's pretty much all the buildings are in here. Yep, that's everything there. So we head down here into this tunnel, which will lead us into the next area. Now I'm going to go ahead and stop the video here for now, and I'll start up on the next part a little bit down that hallway. Again, guys, if you like these videos, please hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment below, or as always, hit me up in game. Thanks again for watching.